Yeah?
Yeah.
My number 3 is also on the PlayStation 4. It is a game called Samurai Warriors 4. Have you played the Samurai Warriors game before?
They're the same as Dynasty Warriors, aren't they? The same.
They're not really. Well, they are the same, but they're not. This is my first one of these. I've never played a Samurai Warriors game before. I've played several Dynasty Warriors games over the years, but as I've said recently, I'm a very recent convert because something just clicked with Hyrule Warriors the other month. Previously, I'd always played those games kind of with my eyeballs half glazed, only partially engaged, but now I'm 100% sold. And yeah, the short version is that Samurai Warriors 4 is excellent. I sank way too many hours into this over the week, which was very easy to do because it's just pure entertainment. It's also very accomplished technically. What did you say? I remember you talking about the Wii U version of Warriors Orochi 3, and this is obviously a million miles away from that. I can't remember. What was the PS4 port of that like?
From a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Much better. Like, way more characters on screen, nice and smooth. It's not exactly a beautiful game, but a much, much better version. It was actually pretty good. It's still not my cup of tea, but I reckon if you're into it now, you'd actually probably really like that.
Yeah. Well, this one's very nice to look at. It runs really smoothly, just looks slick as possible. I mean, it's really nice to look at. One thing I really like about these is that the story mode is cut up into several tiers, and each one has 4 or 5 sort of bite-sized levels into it, and you can play them concurrently if you want. So you can do a battle from that set and then do another one here, do another one there. You're free to sort of do it however you like, and you can wait to tackle harder missions and sort of earn better kit first. There's also local split-screen co-op, which is obviously very welcome because co-op in Hyrule Warriors was just an absolute blast on the Wii U gamepad. But unlike Hyrule Warriors, there is online co-op as well, which I think was in the last Dynasty Warriors, Extreme Legends Dynasty Warriors 8. I'm pretty sure that had online co-op as well. I love the fact that online plays here, but unfortunately matchmaking is done per level, so it's obviously best to know someone, a friend who's got the game, because if you want to do a co-op mission, like I got stuck at one point, I needed help, and I just ended up waiting in a lobby for about 15 minutes and nothing happened because you have to find a match via that level. Each level, I don't think you can matchmake. I don't think you can just matchmake and go to any level. Anyone who needs help, I'll jump into their game. I think there's a separate lobby for each level, which is a bit unfortunate. There's this Chronicle mode, which is new, where you create a character and then you wander around on this big map, meeting people and then helping them, fighting for them or against them. And as you go, you write a chronicle of your escapades in this book. That's how the story goes. But there are dialogue choices between the fights which help you to sort of develop friendships and determine what kind of character you're going to be. And as you make allies in the Chronicle mode, they become playable in free mode, etc. It's just a really enjoyable mode. The fights tend to be a bit shorter and smaller scale than the ones in story mode as well, but they're no less enjoyable for that. That's a really cool mode. But in terms of the gameplay, I'm not the best person to say what's new, but I do know that this new hyper combo chain system it's just incredibly entertaining because you can basically decimate enemies forever until you get to like a boss or a barracks captain or a standard bearer. So if you want to keep your chain going, you have to purposely avoid the people that you have to dispatch in order to take the area.
Right.
Because hitting them stops you dead. But it's a really fun system because you can just dice minions up all day, just bouncing moves almost in perpetuity. But I also, about this game, I love the humour. There's always a tiny bit of humour in Dynasty Warriors from what I can recall. But here it's kind of like someone behind the scenes is having a laugh. And I suspect that some of the translations in the game, because there's no dub, it's subtitles or nothing. But some of those translations just aren't straight up. It doesn't hurt the game at all. I loved it for some of the laughs I had. For example, there was this female character who I was, and whenever she's in combat hacking people up, she keeps screaming, "I'm sorry!" And even when she's doing like a flashy special move, like panels whooshing around, special move, she yells something, and then you look down at the subtitles, she's like, "I'm so terribly, awfully sorry." Maybe that's a literal translation, I'm not sure, but what I'm sure is not a literal translation is the favourite phrase of my special boy, my favourite character. His battle cry almost made me cry more than once Because every time, the narrative stuff in these games, and even the incidental stuff when you're in the battlefield, 99% of the time, it's supposed to maybe sound historically accurate to a degree, or kind of fable-like, I suppose, but serious. The dialogue is occasionally quite portentous. People just stand around and talk. As soon as the enemy shows weakness, we must dissolve our alliance. It's a lot of serious men talking very calmly about war, which is a lot of people seem to love that stuff. But in the midst of all this, every time my character yelled out something, rah, he had this catchphrase. It sounded like a battle cry, something grand, like oh. Every time I looked down at the subtitles, they said, "Massive shout out to my wife and kids." And I was just like, what the? A, who is he talking to? B, why did they do? I mean, why would that character be such a flippant idiot? And who is he talking to? Every time I looked down, I was like, that's just funny. There's loads of moments like that, and I don't know. Who knows whether they're intentional? They're funny. Anyway, this is terrific. It's really, really well made and very entertaining. And actually, I think the opening tutorials are similar to how I remember the tutorials being at the beginning of Hyrule Warriors. So I think it's a very good entry point for people who haven't played one of these games, because I think Hyrule Warriors, for me, actually explained the systems properly, and I started the game feeling like I knew everything that there was to know, and I felt the same here. I think this is really, really terrific. I think I'm a full convert to these games now, but even if I wasn't, I'd say have a look. I don't know if there's a demo. It comes out tomorrow, so it's out on Friday, but fantastically entertaining.